What's up, Keith? How's life, man?
All right. Not bad.
Not bad?
Day to day.
What's been going on? Oh, your day to day?
Yeah.
So if you were an athlete, you'd be listed as day to day.
Aren't we all? I'm trying to remember. There's a sports writer that said that.
Are we all day to day?
Yeah.
I think I would be listed as questionable.
Questionable.
Yeah, more than day to day, to be honest. Like,
yeah.
They all mean different things.
Yeah. Yeah. But, you know.
At least day to day, like, some days you'll be good to play. Questionable, you're just like,
probably not.
We don't know.
It's not looking. Yeah, right. Exactly.
Back.
Yeah. I feel.
Oh man.
It takes me a while to get. Like I can get up. In the morning. Like I don't know if I'm a morning person or not, to be honest. But usually once I get up, I'm up. I'm good.
Everyone knows I'm not a morning person.
You are famously not among us. Yeah.
Full disclosure, I take naps almost every time after Apocalypse Now, so no worries there. All right, well, with that being said, welcome to Bartley Barnes, the reboot.
Welcome back. We're back.
2020. We've been talking about this, been wanting to do it. We finally have great equipment, and I'm so jealous, Keith, because you have a mic in front of you. You can't even see my mic. It looks cool when you have a mic in front of you, but this is not our complete
we don't have a little does that fit on that one?
I should have done it. It's okay. It's too late. We're gonna I should have brought my swing arm. I ordered another swing arm, so we're gonna have a bunch of swing arms here.
Yeah.
Sooner or later. But if I had a swing arm, it would sit right here in front of me.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Same for you. So we'll bring them next time. And that'll be fun. But this is our first episode back for 2020. First episode for a while. I think our last episode was like 5 months ago.
Was it our Tarantino one? Did we do the
I think it was
or our TV one?
TV shows.
Yeah.
And I wasn't done with the Sopranos yet, which we're going to talk about. Which we're going to talk about. But yes, Bartley and Barnes, Jacob Bartley, Keith Barnes over there.
Yes.
You see our little avatars right here. I'm throwing popcorn into my mouth right here, and Keith's just giving the thumbs up. Like,
oh, it's not my lightsaber one?
No, it's your thumbs up one. But I like it. It's positivity.
Yeah, that's cool. Oh, yeah.
And I'm not sharing my popcorn, I guess. It's kind of mean. But yes, man, we're going to talk about a lot of stuff today. We're definitely going to talk about the Stupid Bowl, and then we're also and some of the trailers that played with it. But also, it's cool that I'm calling it that because you're not allowed to say the real word on.
You can.
What is the deal with that?
So, what it is you're not allowed to promote anything.
Oh, so you can't be like
come to the Apocalypse Movies Super Bowl party. We're gonna. You can't do that. They'll get you for that.
Oh, like bars can't do that either. I'm guessing
bars, radio stations, they can't be like
put on your YouTube channel like Super Bowl preview.
Right.
Oh,
right. It's gotta be officially sanctioned.
That's
NFL
promotion though itself for them.
That's how the NFL is, man.
That's like saying, all right, you can't put Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker in the title of your video. Right. You can't say the name of the movie.
It would be just like
But how are we supposed to review it then? Oh, the most recent Star Wars film that just came out.
That's how the NFL is, man. The NFL, those owners, they're like in the Grinch, how he reaches back to take the last little crumb on the table from the chin. That's how the NFL is.
We are not sponsored by Starbucks, but we should be because I'm giving them free promotion right now. What's up, Starbucks? Anyways, so I'm a 49ers fan. And I was nervous going into this game.
Yeah.
I had a feeling we were going to lose, and we did.
Really?
I did. I mean, you guys remember when everyone was crap talking, shit talking.
You were quiet.
Fuck it.
You were quiet.
Gio is also a Niners fan, and he's like, "Oh, we're gonna whoop their ass, everything, right?"
Yeah.
And I'm just like, see, I don't want to be that cocky fan that talks a lot of crap, and then we get our butts whooped. We didn't get our butts whooped. We lost the game. We had control of the game.
Yeah, we did.
No pun intended, but our quarterback and our coach dropped the ball, and there's a lot of factors that can go into it. And I am by no means a football expert. There's probably people who can explain the technical football reasons why we lost, but from my fan perspective, I always said, look, I always backed Jimmy G up. I always defended him this whole season.
You do.
He's a solid quarterback who makes clutch plays when he needs to, and he's been doing that all season long. But I was like, when it comes down to it, he has to be the one to step it up. Yeah. And he didn't. And I still love Jimmy G. I'm not giving up on him. Still a fan. Even though he's 28, he's still relatively young. And especially if you consider his playing time. He hasn't been playing since he's 22. Full-time quarterback. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when Lamar Jackson's 28, he's going to be playing in the NFL for 6 years, right?
Yeah.
And he's already won
by
an
that
MVP.
Point, yeah.
So, and like Patrick Mahomes is 23. He's probably gonna win 3 Super Bowls by the time he's 28. Yeah. So I'm still giving Jimmy G time.
Sure.
And I love Kyle Shanahan. He's the reason we're here. But in that game, he choked. The play calling wasn't the same.
Yeah.
It didn't feel the same. We weren't playing confident. So I don't want to just cry all night talking about it. But how was your experience with the Stupid Bowl?
Well, I was surprised and not surprised. The Niners defense came out like just exactly as advertised, and
the first half of the game was 10-10.
Right, which we'll get to the first half in a second. But listen, Shanahan. Well, maybe that'll lead me right into it. Actually, boy, the way he handled the end of the first half was just mind blowing to me. These coaches they outthink themselves sometimes. I just don't understand. Like we were content with the 10-10. Go get those points. Get the points. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
He said he was comfortable with the 10-10 tie going in and a half.
Not with
dude, you've got
offense.
You've got 50 seconds. You've got all your timeouts. Get downfield and try to get at least get 3 out of it. I just couldn't understand it. They made that big catch to. It wasn't. It wasn't Kittle. It was the fullback or was the
Kyle Juszczyk
44? Yeah. Right? Didn't he get
the fullback?
Was that him? Who got the big? Somebody got a big play, and then they finally decided to hurry up, to call a timeout, hurry up and get downfield and try to score.
I think it was Juszczyk again.
I thought it was him.
I thought it might have been. Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously the PI
or
call
was Emmanuel Sanders. I don't know, or no.
I can't remember. But somebody made a big play down, I don't know, 15 yards or so, and he decided to, maybe we will try to score. At this point, time's running out, so you can't. Just the way he boxed that first half, into the first half was that drove me nuts. But Kyle Shanahan. So I'm as you know, I'm a Redskins fan. He's our former offensive coordinator when his father was there, Mike Shanahan.
Right.
So I know him quite well.
Some connections to this.
I used to always say Kyle Shanahan would get his. He coached with his PlayStation controller. And he does. And usually we saw it in Atlanta.
The Atlanta offense when they went to the Super Bowl. Yeah.
And then he kept doing it and let New England right back in the game. This one was oddly to me seemed like he went too conservative, which was very strange because Shanahan's a bit of a gunslinger coach, man. Like I said, coaches with his controller, and he I don't know, it was oddly conservative.
And like I said, not all great teams need a great quarterback, and we don't have a gunslinger quarterback.
Yeah,
we don't.
Not at all. Not at all. Which you got Niner fan. You remember Trent Dilfer? He kind of reminds me of Dilfer a little bit. Who I didn't think Dilfer was terrible. He was just fine. He's a little bit. I think Garoppolo is a little bit slightly better than a game manager.
No, I agree, and I say solid quarterback.
Yeah,
and I think that's better than a game manager because he's
slightly
able to make his throws.
You're right,
and I've seen him make some clutch plays this season.
He has.
This season,
but he can also do stuff like he did in this game. Where those interceptions were terrible. Gosh, I was just going ugh. And I didn't have whoever won, I'm fine.
You don't have a dog in the fight.
Living here,
horse in the race.
Is there more? I was trying to think of some more. Yeah, I could.
I think those are the only 2.
Yeah, I like it's fun around here when the Niners are good and the Raiders both. I'm a supporter of both, so I don't mind when either one of them is winning. So it would have been cool if the Niners had won a Super Bowl. But I'm thinking about how far can they? Is this one of those? They're already talking about dynasty for the Chiefs. Their NFL Network is actually calling it Chiefs Dynasty. Like they just won 5 days ago. Won. And they're calling it dynasty. The Niners, I don't know. Are they gonna be back here? Are they gonna be contending for?
I don't talk about it a lot, but I'm a conspiracy theorist.
Okay.
And look, you cannot control sports games completely, right?
No.
But you can manipulate them
absolutely
as much as possible.
Yes.
And I think the NFL wanted the Chiefs to win.
They definitely did.
They absolutely did because, and I even have this in my Notes. NFL wanted Patrick Mahomes' Chiefs to win because they want to establish a superstar. They want, I'm not saying necessarily the next Tom Brady, but they have a 23-year-old Patrick Mahomes who is arguably the best quarterback in the league, and they want to build another guy who can be another Tom Brady 15 years from now.
Face of the league.
And the Niners don't have one of those players. I mean, Kittle, the NFL loves Kittle, but quarterbacks aren't the face of the league.
Tight ends aren't stars.
Quarterbacks are the only players that are usually the face of the league, is what I meant to say. So while they can't control everything, they can manipulate the games, and they wanted the Chiefs to win.
I don't know if they manipulate games. I've had these same thoughts about the NBA, where officials certainly just have a bias in their head for what the company, their company meant.
But I still, look, I love the NFL, and trust me, you guys know I love my fantasy football, so I love the NFL. And I'm only calling it the stupid bowl because I'm mad the Niners lost, not because I'm mad at the NFL. I do think the NFL is very, very happy that Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs won. Listen,
to quote a TV character that we're going to be talking about in a few minutes, the great Tony Soprano, we're running a business here.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's exactly...
Absolutely. Well, speaking of businesses, what was your favorite trailers of the Super Bowl? Maybe favorite just regular trailer, or favorite ad, like just for a product, or favorite movie trailer?
I loved that Chris Evans, Rachel Dratch, John Krasinski, the Smat Pack.
That was hilarious. And
Smat Pack.
I was thinking about it, but I found out later. I was like, they have to all be from Boston, right? They are, and they all are.
I know Evans and Krasinski both are.
I want to see them in a movie together.
Yeah. I know, right?
Something.
I think they are buddies. I think they've known each other for a long time.
He was in the running to play Captain America as well.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, he was. He was gonna do it, from what I understand. He was that close. But
hopefully he's gonna be Mr. Fantastic.
David Ortiz is that's been. Well, I saw the stuff. I saw his post about that. But that's been going on for a few years.
I would love to be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. If you're considering me, please keep considering me. Yeah,
and get Emily Blunt to be
I know
Sue Storm.
That's like fan casting, but like sometimes it just has to be. Sometimes
I know, right?
I would love.
There's no reason not to do this.
The thing is, there is, like it or not, there is a negative, there's a negativity around the Fantastic Four. Obviously, for casual movie fans,
it's earned.
If they cast them,
that'll almost instantly
be a clean slate. All right, show me what you got, basically.
Right. And then plus just having that Marvel Studios banner on it alone would. But yeah, you're right. You cast them, and
they're gonna have other characters in the MCU in the movie, for sure, because they do that in every movie. Captain Marvel, you really think Captain Marvel makes $1 billion if Sam Jackson and Bill Coulson aren't in the movie?
Yeah, absolutely.
No way.
That and it would make a lot.
It would have, but just, it's not about those characters specifically. It's about the connective tissue of the MCU.
It's coming right before Infinity War.
The same world as Endgame.
I'm sorry, Endgame. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So that was a good the tie-in. The timing.
That trailer that commercial was great.
Love that.
My favorite commercial was the Jason Momoa one. That thing was hilarious.
I didn't
know what I was watching.
Right.
And I was saying it was actually, overall, I thought it was a weak Super Bowl for the ads, to be honest. Overall, there's some great ones.
$6 million. I think people just didn't want to.
That Momoa one was absolutely hilarious, especially when he took off his hair at the end. That was absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, and you get Lisa Bonet in there at the end too. That was crazy.
Yeah.
So that was a good one. And the Bill Murray, the Groundhog Day.
Was good. Yeah.
Which was, it didn't even occur to me that it was Groundhog Day until today is Groundhog Day. That's right. That was.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was February 2nd.
Wow,
exactly.
I didn't even think about that either.
That's what I said. I did the same thing. I went, today is Groundhog Day. So that was well planned.
Crazy.
So, but yeah, the movie stuff, Quiet Place trailer was really good. And of course, obviously the Marvel.
Yeah, we can talk about that.
The Marvel
not
stuff.
Much in it, but our first look at a lot of those.
Yeah.
I thought it looked good. It was a good tease. WandaVision. When they first announced WandaVision, I was like, what? Because just the title's ridiculous. But also, and I love Scarlet Witch, and I love her portrayal of Scarlet Witch, Elizabeth Olsen. But I just was like, okay, you're bringing back another character that you killed was my problem, and the title, which titles of movies, man, or titles of movies and shows, like The thing is, like with Birds of Prey,
it sounds like Long Division.
The Birds of Prey title.
Oh,
of
and
the movie.
What is it? And the whatever.
The fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn. Like, it's ridiculous. Like it's already ridiculous, and you have to add the one Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
It should have been called Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey, which would have made a lot more sense, especially after you see the movie. But talk about that later. But but the WandaVision stuff was the most eye-opening to me. I thought it looks very fascinating.
It does. It does. Brian and I talked about it on the latest episode of Nerd Nation, so you can see that if you want to go check that out
on Apocalypse
Movies. Yep. Yes. That one. We have no idea what's going on. You're seeing all these different decades, different eras of television that I mentioned on Nerd Nation that I had heard that maybe that's a situation that they're trapped in.
Maybe. Or she
but not necessarily that's in her head, but they're actually...
she was trying to bring Vision back.
Yeah.
And that happened somehow. You know?
Yeah. With her growing up in this weird Eastern European country, they probably watched all those shows. They probably get that's their American TV. They show all these sitcoms.
The Perfect Life, and she mimicked it based off those sitcoms.
Yeah. She probably grew up watching. Yeah. So...
Makes sense.
And is this the one that the character from Captain Marvel is supposed to be in?
Yes, the daughter.
Rambo.
Yeah,
Monica, Maria.
One
of those two. One of the mom.
Which one is it?
Is Monica, and it's okay, right.
Our producer and our landlord Brian Avellino letting us record at his house.
Yes,
shout out
Brian Studios.
Yes, Avellino Studios.
Avellino Studios. He's the other B, by the way. That's the third B on our show today. But but I love the
fascinating.
The Falcon and Winter Soldier one that's basically more Winter Soldier, like 8 episodes of the Winter Soldier, which is
without Captain America, Black Widow in it. But hey, that's basically what it is.
I mean, you hate Winter Soldier, so
oh my goodness,
I don't know how you feel about this series coming up, but
I love Winter Soldier. I just don't. You know, I'm not in a fantasy and think
not
it's the
even
best
on your. It wasn't even on your list. Was it on your list?
For what?
Our top was it for the comic book movies of the decade?
It wasn't. But that's the thing. Like there was like 8 movies that weren't on my list that I love. You know,
where would you if you could extend it past 10?
Like 12.
Oh, okay,
it was 12, and we're talking about our top 10 comic book movies of the decade that we did on Apocalypse. But yeah, it was like number 12, so it's not far off.
No,
I just like. It's a great movie. I just, I guess I lean more towards like the larger stories. I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
That's a big story.
But that's weird because like I love Ant-Man. I had Ant-Man ranked very high. So it just depends.
Yeah, you did,
it's my
didn't you?
taste.
Yeah.
And like I said, I love that movie. Like Scarlett Johansson is amazing.
So good. That's I'm excited for Black Widow, of course.
And the action in that movie is like it's probably the best hand-to-hand combat action in any superhero movie. Like
I completely agree.
Real gritty stuff, you know, like not like you could say the action in Endgame is better, sure, for fantasy epic stuff, you know. Right. But if you're just
actual real world,
exactly.
Yeah, like say hand-to-hand stuff. Yeah, I completely. I think they got the guys from the Raid on that.
Yeah, we're definitely super excited for all 3 of those shows, and Loki is my dude. I hate the fake deaths in Marvel, but this is not a fake death. It's it's not.
They went back in time and he grabbed the...
And he's not in that same reality.
Right.
So that's fine. And I'm so happy because I thought his death was great.
Not yet.
That was a great death.
Yeah.
And we get to see him again. So I'm totally okay with that.
Exactly.
So let's move on here. And this, in this fast world that we live in, a lot of people aren't thinking about this anymore or talking about it anymore, but I definitely am. Yeah. And that is the death of Kobe Bryant. As you can see, I'm wearing a Lakers shirt right now. We talked about this a lot. I did my own video. We talked about it on Apocalypse Now.
Just those words. Just you saying that. I can't even.
Like, and the more time goes on, you kind of get away from it a little bit.
Yeah.
But like somebody says it again, you see another headline on your phone. It's tough. And but if you watched our episode of Apocalypse Now, you could tell Keith and I could have talked about that for another hour straight. Yep. If you didn't see those videos, just real quick, I'm a Lakers fan, grew up watching Kobe. He was one of my childhood heroes, one of like maybe 4 celebrities that I just like he's on my Mount Rushmore of celebrity influences.
Yeah.
He really was.
Probably the same here for me.
And those, I hate when people say that and then they don't tell you what the other three are, so I'm just going to tell people who they are. Because it happens so many times, like, I can't think of other examples other than the Mount Rushmore thing, but they're like, Steven Spielberg's on my Mount Rushmore of directors, and they don't say the other three. I'm like, what?
Yeah, right.
So my other two are Leonardo DiCaprio, Lil Wayne, and Eminem. So those are my four. That's my Mount Rushmore of celebrities. Like if you can just meet them and sit down and talk to them in a coffee shop for an hour, those would be my top four to choose. Who are yours?
Oh man, see, it's tough. I would say Kobe.
And the thing is, you're not even a Lakers fan, but hearing your story about how you grew up watching him, like I believe you, because some people might be like, "Oh, you're just saying that because he passed away." But hearing your story about how you watched him because you guys were basically the same age.
He's 6 months older than me,
and I believe you when you say that.
His rookie year in the NBA was my senior year of high school. Yeah, so I watched his whole career and life, and it's rare that I found it odd because he's my age that I would look up to somebody that's my age, but I think no matter what, we look up to celebrities and just exactly, icons and influences. You could just tell he was different. I don't know how to describe it. Just from watching him, you could obviously he turned out that way, but you could tell back then like there's something different about him. It was such a it was a huge deal for a player to be coming out of high school like that, like especially at his position.
Always, post players. Yeah.
Well, no, up until the point, it just been Kevin Garnett the year before.
Oh, was it?
Kevin Garnett was the first one in 20 years.
Well, when I just look at the overall scope, it was.
There's been so many since then, so
they were all like Dwight Howard. I only think of post players,
Yeah.
And then even LeBron is not necessarily he was not a shooter, like he's not. I don't know.
Maybe he's so big and wide, but even by the time you got to LeBron
reminds me more of like a power forward or a center more than he does a shooting guard.
Yeah.
And especially when he first came out.
Right. It's still because it's so big and strong, but even by the time you got to LeBron, you had waves of high school players coming to NBA. Like 95, Kevin Garnett was the first since like the 70s, and only the second ever. And then Kobe Bryant was next. It was Kobe Bryant and Jermaine O'Neal. Those were the only two in that draft. And then the next year it was just Tracy McGrady. So it was very rare. Like it didn't happen.
Dude, Tracy McGrady's
monster.
Video
I know. That killed me because they were so tight.
The most most devastating one I watched. Shaq's was
his and
emotional
Shaq's
too,
were
and you could tell Shaq is destroyed.
Never seen Shaq cry.
Shaq is destroyed by this. Yeah,
he is, and it was really sweet because
their rocky relationship makes it even more touching.
Yeah, and he texted his son just that morning, which was his son Sharif. Kobe had just texted him because he had announced that he was going to transfer from UCLA and just wanted some advice. And Kobe said, "Yeah, just hit me up. Message me later. We'll talk." But yeah, man. So even though I as he went on, I had graduated high school, but I was still playing basketball in rec leagues and stuff, and I was trying to model a lot of the way I play after him. I'm not a scorer. If you just a quick basketball thing, when I play the game, I'm not a scorer. I'm more of a passer kind of guy. So
you're not a shooter like Mark Ellis, right?
Not at all. I wish I could. Somebody back home has.
Joke, Keith played against Mark Ellis.
Played basketball against Mark Ellis in high school.
And they talked about it at the Schmodown Awards.
And I bet I could find video.
You and Ellis are nearly the same age.
Yeah, I'm a year ahead of him.
I've seen some of the stuff. He wasn't a Lakers fan, but by some of the stuff that he's posted, he heavily admired Kobe too, because I can imagine being that age.
Yeah.
And this person's the same age as you, and they're doing this great thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned McGrady. I'm a month older than him.
Oh wow!
We were actually, a quick side note. We were supposed to play against his team, and he went to a school called Mount Zion Academy in North Carolina, and we were supposed to play against them, and our coach canceled it probably about the week before because they would have destroyed us.
Really?
Because they had, they have
McGrady
because they traveled nationally.
Yeah,
and they had played another school
cool
down the street from us. But yeah, that would have been a bloodbath. Coach was like, no, we can't play them because they'll kill us. They had like 9 guys that went on to play Division I.
Oh,
so
goodness.
that would have been awful. But no, back to Kobe though. Yeah, just for what's gotten me again that I can't get over is, well, first of all, just like I said, just hearing those words. He seems like this Superman that you can't believe the words, or even, I saw People magazine on last night on the cover, and Kobe Bryant 1978 to 2020. And I'm just like, I can't believe that.
They even have that billboard on the freeway that changes.
Yes.
And they have him up there too. And
yeah, with the dates on it.
I'm just driving, like not even thinking about it at the moment, and I see it.
Like, I know, but
my God,
being a dad, just. Man, to lose I'm just like, as bad as it is to lose him, of course. But gosh, I was just today like, why did she have to be on there too? Why did it have to be her too, man? That just destroys me. That just 13 years old, man, just 13-year-old girl. I have a 13-year-old daughter. I have 2 teenage daughters. I can't even. I would just want to cease to exist.
When these things happen, I always think about the immediate family, and what they're going through.
Right.
So,
man,
the thing is, if just Kobe passed away, I would still be thinking about the immediate family and how much pain they'd be going through. Can you imagine losing a sibling or a daughter,
your little sister, and your daughter,
sister,
Vanessa losing her daughter,
with your dad, and then waking up in the morning and realizing it. My dad's dead and my sister's dead, and it's unfathomable.
You're looking at her; she's not in her room.
Yeah,
her stuff's all where she left it, and she's not coming back.
The house that they were living in,
I couldn't deal with it. I couldn't deal with it. Just being a fan on the outside, I can't deal with it. So I can imagine.
No, that's the thing for me. It's like I straight up, I'm slowly starting to feel better, but that's not because it's
just time.
It's just time, right? But I was devastated.
Me too.
I shed.
Tears. I cried. Yeah,
I shed tears.
I cried, audibly cried.
I was just a fan. Can you imagine all these basketball players who knew him and looked up to him?
I know.
And they met up with him. He used to train players. I don't know if it was at his house, but he used to train players at his house, have them meet him at 5 a.m. And says, if you want to come by and work out, I'll be up at 5 a.m.
Jason Tatum. The credits, he was working out with him, and he was one.
Imagine they have a appointment next week to just hang out and shoot around. Yeah. And it's gone.
He was the type. I watched an old video of him from when he was 17, this essay that he had to do, a speech that he had given some class when he was in high school, and he just talked about growing up in Italy for 8 years or so, and then when he came back to America after his father retired, he kind of struggled speaking English. And so he didn't get invited to hang out or anything.
Oh, wow.
So he would just stay in and play basketball. He would go to his little gym or whatever and work out at his house. And that clearly that carried over all the way through. I remember him watching him on there's an old show on MTV called Diary, where they used to follow around someone, a celebrity or whatever. And I remember seeing him on there. And he talked about that. He's like, it was a Friday night. He was in his house and chilling in his living room watching game film. He's like, I know all my other peers right now are out at the club right now. He said, I'm sitting here, I'm watching game film. And said, and in a few hours, around midnight, I'm going to go work out, and I'm going to get up at about 4:00 and go work out again in the morning. He was a maniac. That's
the thing for me. It's I've always been fascinated with that because as much as I could try, I could never be that person.
Those people I
could never be that person.
Tiger Woods, Jordan.
And I wish I could, but I just can't.
You can't, no, but their brains are different. They're not like the rest of us. And that's what made him so great, and I don't know if you want to get into any of the negative stuff. Obviously, we had some allegations, an allegation that I won't say he admitted. I mean, he did.
I mean, I was a kid when all that happened, and it's just we don't know, and that's the thing.
That's the thing.
And I don't want to go.
We don't go too far into it exactly.
Just favor either side.
No,
because it's not fair either way. Not knowing.
Right. Exactly.
It's always going to be...
Which a lot of people are doing, which makes me mad.
Oh, absolutely.
Calling him a serial rapist. He's not a serial... What are you talking about? Serial rapist? I see that a lot on... Like, you can't...
There was never anything else that came up.
No! That's what I'm saying. It was just that one.
Yeah.
And now, granted, I wouldn't say it. I'm sure it's not the first time he cheated on his wife.
Oh, all right. So that's the thing. Look, being a rapist and cheating on your wife,
completely different things, right?
Like
exactly.
Completely.
People
different.
were calling him serial rapist.
Not,
and I'm like, you can't
honestly,
say that. Like,
I don't think. Look, it's a terrible, absolutely terrible thing to cheat on a spouse.
Yes,
but I don't think it makes you a terrible person for the rest of your life.
Right.
You can't come back from and redeem yourself. The other thing, maybe, but I don't know. I don't want to get into it too much.
Yeah, totally. The only thing I would say, first of all, I remember being, so I was very disappointed in him.
Yeah.
Not because whether just guilty or not, but just for putting himself in that position. You know, he was supposed to just be there getting knee surgery. And, you know, you can look at it as an example of just, you know, an athlete used to getting what he wants, and the encounter, he admitted in his statement that he said, look, the encounter, I thought it was this, and for her it wasn't. Yeah. And so that, whatever. But either way, whatever you think of it, he clearly, and I mentioned this on Now last week, like he put everything, that same dedication that he had to his game, he put it into making himself a better person. And it was evident. If you watch how he grew from then on, he was just into being a better person, better husband, and eventually a better father. I mean, he put in the work. People, as you mentioned, people can change and evolve and get better. And like I guarantee you, whether or not it was the first time he ever cheated on his wife or whatever, I bet you he never did it again, ever. You know, I actually heard a story that he was in a restaurant here in Sacramento. They were playing the Kings, and he sat into the VIP area by him and maybe like three other people. They asked for a male waiter and said, "Don't let no one over, no female is of any kind in this section at all." I bet you he did that in every city.
And like you said, he probably applied his same work ethic that he puts in life and basketball to like not cheating on his wife.
Absolutely, exactly.
And you
can see it. And he had
that mentally strong. He's probably able to do it because lust is probably the most powerful thing on this planet Earth.
Yeah,
and to be able to restrain yourself from that, especially when you're a celebrity who can essentially have anyone
just
you
walk
want.
out the door and
Yeah.
That's why you don't get married. See, if I was a pro athlete in that position, Derek Jeter did it right. Didn't get married till he retired. You know, that's the way to do it.
I always think about that. I'm like, why is every single athlete married?
I know.
I'm like, what are you
especially
doing?
so young, you know, the people.
Maybe so they don't get in trouble, but
it seems to cause more trouble than
maybe.
So, but yeah, you know, God bless his family, all the other families, of course, as well. Two a mom and a dad and daughter on there.
Yeah,
left behind 2 siblings.
Oh, all the
which
families.
Just
because we didn't know who was on the helicopter when they finally reported it, because everything else was speculation, and when they finally reported it was devastating because you're like, and I am a very imaginary, like I use my imagination a lot, and I'm picturing all of them on a helicopter together, and it's terrible.
Well, there's supposedly, you know, I don't know how true this is. The police are saying that he was hugging her. He was hugging Gianna when they found him. So,
oh my goodness, no way.
Yeah. So dude, it's just, but you know, listen, he died trying to, you know, take care of his little girl. So.
Yeah, it's awful, man. And honestly, like I'll never be over it. I can talk about it forever. Yeah. But you know, like I said on Now, like I'm literally like changing my mentality, my work ethic as much as I possibly can, because I'll never be that Kobe type person. Right. But I can be like as much as I can try to be. Right. You know.
I got his book. I mentioned too. I got my son Kevin. I got him. He's my oldest. He's 15. I got him the book, the Mama Mentality book, for Christmas last year, and the jump he's made as a basketball player has been remarkable.
I remember this was like 2 months ago or something. You guys came over to record.
He was reading.
He was in the corner reading that book.
Yep. And he was, I mentioned too, obviously, when that news came, he was beside himself.
Especially when you're reading something from somebody, you're like in their mind. You're in their head, and you're hearing what they're saying, what their thoughts are, and you're you're using that to influence you, and then he's dead.
The night before, we were just talking about him because LeBron James had passed him.
Oh, I know.
On the scoring list.
It's such a crazy story.
Isn't
Everything.
Isn't it?
Everything.
Yeah.
But real quick, do you have any favorite on-court Kobe moments?
Oh yeah, totally. You know the biggest one. I tell you what. Before that, his a preseason game in his rookie year. There's a highlight, you can find it easily. They're playing the Wizards. I grew up there with the Bullets, but they're playing the Wizards. It was in Las Vegas. They're playing at UNLV at the Thomas and Mack Center, and he just did full Iverson crossover on somebody. Took one step into the lane and dunked on Ben Wallace, and I thought it was the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So his second year, he still wasn't starting yet, which is bizarre. He was still coming off the bench, but he was scoring maybe like 17 points a game. But he made the All-Star team, and that 98 All-Star game was awesome. He started. He was one of the youngest player to ever start, I think, maybe, the All-Star game, probably to this day. And he had some great highlights in that game. It was awesome because we thought that it was going to be Michael Jordan's last All-Star game until he obviously came back with the Wizards. But there's that. Them winning their first title was cool against Indiana. Because I remember him spraining his ankle in that series. He fell on Jalen Rose's foot, and it looked bad. It really looked bad. I think he missed game 3 or 4, one of those. So for them to come back and win that series after everything they had gone through, getting swept by Utah and all the air balls his rookie year, which I remember that as well. But other than that, man, there's so much. There's tons of videos out there.
The thing is, like, even though I'm a Lakers fan, I was a child for most of it.
Yeah.
And so you have such more vivid memories than I do.
Yeah.
So more vivid memories than I do. But I remember watching those the three-peat in the early 2000s. I remember watching them when my dad was watching them. But I was more aware of what was going on during the two in the two 2010s.
Pau Gasol,
the 20
teams.
Pau Gasol, Lamar Odom, Andrew Bynum, Trevor Ariza. I think Derek Fisher was still there.
He came back. Derek Fisher came back.
And I just I forget what series it was. But there was a game where he shot it. He made a shot. They were inbound. He stole the ball, made a shot, and did it again. He did it 2 times in a row, kind of like the Reggie Miller thing, that his infamous game. But and then I remember the Western Conference Finals against the Nuggets. Went to Game 7.
Yes, I think that was a good series.
The year they beat the Magic. That was Melo was killing it that year, and I thought they were gonna win. I was like, back up, Melo! Like, you're gonna take this title away from us. And then probably my favorite memory is watching them beat the Celtics in Game 7.
That was great.
That following year, and Meta World Peace stepping up and making those clutch plays to win that game, and all led by Kobe. You know, so those are some great things. And man, I'm sure we could have a Kobe segment on the show if we want, but we'll talk about him more.
We'll do it later,
because I'm not over it. Never will be.
Same.
And so that's fine. Well, the time has come, Keith. Time has come. The Sopranos.
Yes.
Wow. This is crazy because you didn't challenge me to watch it, but you had been recommending that I watch it for so long.
Yes.
And I wanted to, and I bought HBO I subscribed to HBO just to watch The Sopranos. And it's weird when you have such an idea in your head. It's such an iconic series, and a lot of people love it. But it's also a mob story, which is not for everyone. And I love mob movies. Like I love Goodfellas and Casino and everything. Yeah. Growing up, that's weird to say that growing up watching those movies, but I was, and so I do like mob stories, and I wasn't sure if I was gonna love it, you know. But I'll tell you right now, I absolutely love it.
Good.
I was obsessed. I don't remember the last. Well, okay, Game of Thrones was like a thing where I was obsessed with, but it was kind of different, I guess. I don't know. It was. Yeah. It's more modern, and I was watching it week to week, and things like that. But I would have to go back to Breaking Bad as far as like something I was binging where I was just absolutely over the moon obsessed with. And this is like this, I had that feeling with The Sopranos, and I didn't want it to be over.
I know.
I was so upset, like just knowing, like watching the last seasons and knowing that the end was approaching.
Yeah.
And there's so many things I love about it. I mean, Tony Soprano might be the greatest television character of all time. I wouldn't argue against that. I might even say it myself.
Yeah.
It's definitely the case, and I know a lot of people feel that way. There's so many great things to take away from it, but I love his therapy sessions. The psychological aspect and his dreams and his nightmares and his paranoia and how that played into him psychologically. And it was like, what does a man like this go through in his head? And he had good intentions as a human, but no, he did. He had good. He never thought he was the bad guy.
Of course not.
But he's a bad guy.
He's a terrible
He's a
person.
villain.
Yes.
He's a villain. But I'm saying, like, and that's why I love this psychological angle, because he really didn't believe he was bad.
Yeah.
And he thought the things that he did were okay. And whether that was murdering people or cheating on his wife, he thought it was okay because this is the world I grew up in. I'm a soldier, those type of things. And he's even said that.
Or I deserve it, or
what's the
whatever.
psychiatrist's name again?
Dr. Melfi.
I love that character.
Lorraine
so
Bracco.
much.
Yes.
And so when I was a kid, I used to watch this, like, not like every episode, but I would see it on when my parents were watching it. And like, I thought this whole time he was banging the psychiatrist.
Yeah.
And so the whole time I watched this, I'm like, when are they gonna hook up? When are they gonna hook up? And there is a dream sequence by her where they're having sex. So maybe I saw that when I was a kid and I was like, oh yeah, they hooked up. But I never, like, I was like surprised to see that they never actually did.
No.
And part of her wanted to. Obviously, she was dreaming about it. And it was more of like she wants the bad boy type thing, like she wants what she knows she shouldn't have.
Sort of, yeah.
Type thing.
Yeah.
But he courted her so hard.
Oh, yeah.
But he always just wants what he can have. Once he had her, he would have just been over her.
He just was a
quickly,
typical,
but he courted her so hard.
Yeah.
And it was crazy. If Bryant ever planned to watch The Sopranos, we're spoiling the shit out of it for him.
Slowly not.
Yeah, we talked about you for 30 minutes, Brian. You didn't hear that?
You missed our Brian segment.
Yeah, what the heck?
Oh, no.
No, but I want to revisit this show again.
Same here.
Once, like, I want to wait a little bit. I just watched it, so I want to wait. But it's such a great show, like, and it pulls you in, because I was watching it, and then my brother would come over and see me watching it, and he's like, I have to watch this. And he got obsessed, and he loves it. It's one of his favorite shows of all time now. And it's like, that's a timeless show that has an effect on people like that.
It's heartwarming to hear. It is.
And the thing is with Tony, it's like, and you're 100% convinced that he's a bad person, and I am too. But I'm kind of sympathic.
You find yourself rooting for him.
I do, and
which is a credit to James Gandolfini in the way he played him.
So it's like he is. I mean, and they do this intentionally. He is charming, and he is very charismatic.
Yes.
But that, people say the same thing about Loki in the MCU, and he murdered tons of people. You know what I mean? So I did sympathize for him a lot of times, but overall, I was like, it's all your fault. Yeah. Like, you deserve everything that's happening because of all the things that happen to you aren't worse than all the things you did to people.
Everything, exactly.
Yeah.
So, everyone on that show, just listen, as sympathetic as you could be to Carmela and everything she was dealing with just being married to him. She wasn't a saint. No, she was not a saint. She was addicted to and just used to that the lifestyle, and so she could have left Tony. She could have left him. She uses that power to her advantage. Yes, she does, and she could have left him at any time. He obviously made it so that they couldn't get divorced. I don't know if you remember that, but he went threatening all the lawyers in the area. Well, threatening all the lawyers. Once they see him, they can't. Once they see that it's him, right? They can't, exactly. Yeah, because by law they can't.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
all he has to do is have a meeting with them, and then they can't work with her.
Exactly. And she wanted her cut. I know we got it. Yeah, but she wanted her.
No, I was just checking the time.
Okay,
but no, we're good.
She could have left. Well, yeah, she could have just upped and left him any time if it was really she was really that about her convictions and her religious convictions that she had.
Never
but she didn't.
Ultimately did.
Yeah, exactly. So, man, it's Christopher. What a mess. So what do you got?
Things I wanted to talk about. Well, back on how Tony was like a good person and stuff, or how I thought there were redeeming elements about him being trying to be a good person and think he's a good person. There's also like racism was a strong theme in this show.
Yeah.
And especially like his and the Italians' racism towards black people. Mm-hmm. And it's like a whole thing, and it's like, but you're discriminated against for being Italian from other Americans, and then you're discriminating against African Americans. It's like you don't see that. And then like the thing with his daughter dating, her first boyfriend in college was like a light-skinned black guy.
Yep.
So that always stood out to me. Is like, but then like that cop pulls him over and he gets him fired, but then he starts like feeling bad for being racist.
Right.
And then he tries to go like be sympathetic towards him and become friends with him and stuff. And it's just that's the type of thing I'm talking about. Like, why did he feel the need to go like, why did he feel bad for doing that? I mean, because he's a human being, he should.
Yeah.
But like those type of things. And then I also have Christopher, like, other than Tony, Christopher was like, and I connected with Christopher more because he was closer to my age. So like he's a young man, like, trying to make it in this world, and I love how he was like wanted to be a screenwriter and all those things.
The Jon Favreau episode is one of my favorite episodes of the series.
So that is a great episode. The redhead woman in that episode is like one of the most gorgeous women I've ever seen.
Yeah.
That, I don't remember who the actress was, but she was only in that like a couple episodes.
Yeah.
And it was his cousin's girlfriend.
Yeah.
Man, there's no boundaries with these people, man.
No, they're all terrible. They're all terrible.
And even Tony wanted to sleep with
Adriana.
Christopher's. Yeah.
That almost, they got pretty close. That whole thing, that whole storyline was incredible. The way the FBI got to her.
Oh my. Dude,
and
those scenes where she feels sick made me feel sick. I had like a knot in my stomach watching those scenes.
Yeah. You genuinely. Did you think maybe we should go through at some point? Maybe take a couple episodes, go through each season, and that because there's a lot, there's so much going on. But
we could just do like the whole thing.
Let's
on
do it. Yeah, sure. Honestly, do the whole.
But Sopranos podcast where we watch each episode together.
Yeah,
and then we'll talk about because people do that.
There is one Sopranos show. It's really good. Yeah, there's a Sopranos one. It's really good. We should do ours. Yeah,
that's the thing. Like I like to show enough to do a podcast about it.
Yeah, I'd be all for it.
You know, like you can't do that with a lot of shows.
No, not at all. But
the I don't want to say resolution, but what happens with Christopher, his demise.
That was just, and I
couldn't believe that.
At that point, that's where I was. It was already happening, but I was like, Tony, you're the worst.
But
he deserved it.
Understood why he did it though.
Absolutely, because he was. All
right. The way the shot is like they get in the car accident, and he's obviously on drugs, right? Yes. And this is an ongoing thing. Like,
and also at this point, Christopher was a fool. He was just a menace. Yeah, he had to. And
so Christopher has a child and a wife.
Yeah.
And Tony, they're in the car, and he looks back at the car seat, and he's like, "What if the baby was in this car?" And in Tony's mind, he's saving his family.
Yeah.
For potential danger.
Right.
Going forward, but it's still. Even though you think that that's the right thing, you still don't murder your nephew.
But he's also getting rid of this problem.
Oh, because it's
a problem.
It's a threat to him.
For him.
Well, also, and that's the thing where we're talking about the duality of him being a bad person and him maybe being a good person. It's like, if you look at it from he was protecting Christopher's family angle, or if you look at it from he knows Christopher's a threat to him, he's going to snitch on him, he's like he's a very weak-minded person at this point. So there's both of those, you know.
Or he'll cost him. He'll cause something to happen with one of the other families.
Oh yeah,
and it was just something. He's gonna cause trouble for him.
Either like cause trouble with other gangsters,
right.
or rat on him,
or with the
or kill his family. It's just all around. Yeah, it was a problem for Tony. So
and there's a lot of that with Tony, and immensely complicated character. It's an interesting thing, and we'll get to we'll lead into the finale. We can jump around a little bit, but when Melfi essentially fires him in the second to last episode, I think it was, which drew a lot of criticism. I remember at the time, like therapists wouldn't do that, you know, because you're not supposed to get rid of them. They're supposed to, you know, get rid of you. Like your patient's supposed to end it.
I didn't want her to do that, but I understood why she was doing it.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
But it's just it was interesting that she did that because obviously the way it was written. But I mean, she's been treating him all these years. She knew what he was, so none of this was new. But she was reading that.
He was the one who constantly left her as a patient.
Right. Exactly. But it showed her she was reading that thing that it was an article or something about therapy and it was fully describing everything that exactly. She was like, "Oh, this is this guy," and she came to the realization that like this therapy, whatever help she's giving him, is actually helping him to be a worse person,
enabling him, making him think it's okay. And making him think there's a psychological reason why I'm like this. So it's fine. Right. And any tools that she gave him, he was applying it to. And the thing is, you could have made this show without the psychological aspect, and it still would have been great. But adding that into it, I'm obsessed with psychology.
Yeah, it was unique in that sense. Yeah, it was very.
I always say, like, if my full potential self, like, if I was more like Kobe, I would have become a psychiatrist. If I was able to work that hard, I would have become a psychiatrist. I can't go to medical school and all those things.
Yeah, that'd be tough.
Whenever there's like these type of things, or even talking about Inside Out, that's why I love the movie Inside Out so much, because the psychological aspect of it.
Yeah, I'm always
fascinated with those things.
Yeah, I've always been fascinated with human behavior and why do people do what they do, and it's same here. One of my favorite episodes, which I think one of the best episodes of television ever, is I can't remember what it's called, but it's the one where Christopher and Paulie get lost in the woods.
Oh my goodness!
Chasing after that Russian.
Oh man, that episode was so hard to watch. Like, just because I'm always like, man, this sucks. Like,
and we don't know what happened to that Russian. We've never heard from him again.
Oh really?
There's a theory that
he comes
in the finale
back at the end,
which I don't.
But he didn't see Tony though ever, right? Or yes, would he have known that?
I don't think so.
Tony was.
Yes, because Tony was supposed to.
I can't remember.
Tony was working with his was it his cousin or his old whatever army buddy or whatever. Yeah. But that episode is literally, it's one of the best episodes of television.
Yeah, it's a great episode
ever, in my opinion.
Man, so all right, we got to start brainstorming our Sopranos podcast. We're gonna watch the whole series and like just
honestly
do every episode.
Each one
is a episode of the series.
Yeah, we should absolutely. I'm dead serious. We should do that. It would take a while. It would take a while.
We'll do it when we each have more time on our schedule.
What did you think of the ending?
So that's what I was going to get to. I even wrote on the notes that finale though.
Okay. So I was in and out of it. I jumped into Sopranos, I think in the second or third season, and then I got out of it for a while, and then I picked it back up. I watched like the last 4 episodes, and
I hated it.
Really?
I hated the finale.
A lot of people did.
And the thing is, I
was watching it live when it happened.
All I knew was that it was a controversial finale.
It was.
And I've heard that before about series. And I've been like, oh, that wasn't that bad. Like, what's the big deal? I understood, because right away, hop my phone explaining the ending of Sopranos. And I swear to you, I really thought my TV cut out. I really did. And I was like, what the hell just happened?
That's
like, I thought like something was wrong with the HBO episode.
Yeah.
I was like, no.
That's what everyone did.
Like,
Same thing.
That feeling, what I was just talking about, how like, all right, you have 6 episodes left, and that feeling like, no, it's going to end. That was like that times 1,000 million. Like,
no, it was just like that. It was just over. We have no idea. We don't know.
And it's like,
We don't know.
I don't know. Look, really, for me, I forget where I draw the line, but the first, at least more than the first half of the series, but like the early seasons, and there's 7 seasons, 6.
It's technically 7. They call it 6A and 6B, but so it's technically 7, but it's 6 seasons.
Like seasons like 1 through 4 are some of the best television. It's probably the best television ever created.
Yeah,
but it starts to
fell off a little bit.
A lot. And I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Yep.
And then it does pick up more though towards the end.
Yes.
It does pick up more towards the end.
When they're trying to do when Phil Leotardo takes over after Johnny Sack dies, and that stuff that's when it starts. Yeah, it gets going again. But I completely agree. And you're saying stuff that it's just funny to hear you say that, because this is what 10 years ago this was the talk, or 15 years ago.
If it's like when I'm comparing it to other series, I'm like, how if it's not perfect, there's definitely some down, but that's the same for every series.
Yeah.
But no, dude, I just like, I will listen to an argument as to why the finale isn't total crap. And it's not that it's bad quality. It's not that the actual episode is bad quality. It's that
the episode's great.
The way it ends is bullshit. It's bullshit.
A lot of people have said that.
And Gio knows this, I hate ambiguous endings. I freaking hate ambiguous endings.
Yeah.
So, like, when you guys, neither of you have seen Birdman, huh?
I never finished it. No, I never seen the whole thing.
Well, whatever. Birdman has an ambiguous ending, and like Gio loves that movie. He was like his favorite. He was like, he's obsessed with that movie, and especially the year it came out, and he wanted Michael Keaton to win the Oscar and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have been mad if Michael Keaton won the Oscar, but I just thought Eddie Redmayne was better that year. But the movie, Birdman's a great movie. The ending pissed me off. And people say the same thing about Inception. I don't feel so strongly about the Inception ending as I do like a Birdman, but Sopranos is like an ambiguous ending, and I hate that. But overall, love the series. Absolutely top 3 show of all time. Top 3 show of all time.
That warms my heart.
Hands down.
I would say, so that last scene, from a filmmaking standpoint, is brilliant. I'll say that. The editing, the way it's edited, is spectacular.
I agree. I do, because when I started reading about it and I started thinking about it, and I'm just like, okay, yes.
Oh, it's the tension. The way it builds tension in a way, just like you said, and that's why it's so upsetting, because you're just like, something's going to happen, but just doesn't.
And it's like,
and
Meadow just is like,
Meadow walks in the door,
the street,
right? Almost gets hit by a car, and there's people. The guy in the members only jacket.
I agree with you that it does build that tension.
Yes,
and that's why I was like, "What's going to happen?"
The song playing, the Journey song playing, and
the TV cut out. Like, what's wrong? Like,
what do you think happened?
So that's the thing. There are podcasts, novels, articles, like
theories, or
film theorists, and like people that aren't even film critics, like just out in the world of psychology and all these type of things. It's like a thing.
Yes.
I went down a rabbit hole, and there's like debates. It's like a whole thing.
It's been talked about. This was in 2007. This finale aired, and it's been talked about ever since.
If I had to lean towards one theory, it's that they had that dinner that night, and so Tony Soprano has to go on his whole life being paranoid like that, and always looking over his shoulder, not only for his own life but for his wife, daughter, and son's life. And that's the theory that I subscribe to.
So here's the thing. That's a good one. That's good. That's a pretty prevailing one. One of his guys has flipped. And he's made a deal with the feds. So he's going to be, of this last season, and particularly this episode, really sets up a lot of stuff that they could have had another season. Because there's a bunch of conflicts that it sets up where he's going to be going to court. He's going to be facing trial. Uncle Junior's pretty much gone by this point. His mind's pretty gone.
Wait a minute. We did not talk about
we didn't get to Uncle Junior. Yeah.
Uncle Junior's, you told me this when I was in like season 1. He is one of the greatest television characters of all time. And, I just got to say that.
Yes. Yeah.
And his mother, oh my goodness.
Olivia, the worst TV parent of all time.
His mother, man, there's so much more to talk about.
And and his sister Janice, just like her. And
Well,
and the fact that when the movie, oh my gosh, where what's her name's playing her, Farmiga, Vera Farmiga is playing her.
So that's
I can't wait to see that.
Like, I so
she's
excited
the
for the
worst.
Saints of Newark.
Yeah.
Like,
I told you, that's why I had it at number 1.
It was in my top 10 most anticipated movies of the year. Right?
I'm dying to see it. But
and just having this conversation, we got to talk about Sopranos more.
I know. I'm telling you. Yeah, we should.
We definitely will. So my next segment on here was titled "Yay or Nay on Birds of Prey."
Oh yeah.
I wrote that title before I saw the movie. And I am going to say absolutely yay on Birds of Prey.
Good.
I love this movie. And the funny thing is, look, you see a movie, you know everyone's gonna love it, or you can tell someone, I know you're gonna love it. Like, if I watched John Wick Chapter 3, like, regardless of the ending, right, just for example, I would say, man, you're gonna love this movie. Or I would say 1917, Keith, you're gonna love this movie. I don't know if I can tell you that about Birds of Prey.
Okay.
And I'm forever calling this movie Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey. Even when I put a review up, I'm calling it that because I'm not calling it that title.
That's what it is, essentially, anyway.
Yeah, that's what it is. So, I'm a huge Harley Quinn fan. Like, I just, like, unhealthily obsessed with her. And I read the comics, and I've been watching the animated TV show on DC.
Yeah, you have.
The animated TV show is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And it's so unique. It's hard R, and it's so unique, and I love it. And I had that same feeling with this movie. The action is fantastic. Margot Robbie's performance is fantastic. Ewan McGregor is amazing in this movie. It's nowhere like, I'm just excited because I just saw it last night, and I'm not gonna, like, maybe I'm overselling it, maybe, because it's not perfect, and it's not. There are things that I'm like, all right, I rolled my eyes a lot in this movie, but as a Harley Quinn fan, and just as a comic book movie fan, and loving, like for example, I love Deadpool, right? It's one of my favorite comic book movies of all time. It's in my top 10 comic book movies of all time. And this is like closer to Deadpool than it is to Endgame. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
Or closer to Deadpool more than it is to The Winter Soldier or something like that. So I am prone to like this movie a lot. And it's very entertaining, very Harley Quinn, and they do things that, like, there's so many Easter eggs that if you're a fan of hers, you're like, oh my goodness, yes, please. So I'm curious. We'll talk about it obviously after you watch the movie, but those are my thoughts. Yay on Birds of Prey.
Good. Yeah, getting great reviews, so that's a good thing. I'm gonna see it tomorrow night, and I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Are you taking all 3 of the older kids?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I had asked.
What's the age of the youngest?
13.
Not Sophia, but the youngest older kid.
Yeah, Sophia. Yes, sir. She's 13.
Oh, okay.
13, 14, 15.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay. I guess that's probably the youngest I would ever take. Age 13.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
it's not that bad though. It's not like, you know, it's not that bad.
I let them watch Scream earlier this summer, so I'm easing them into more kind of risque stuff, so not totally inappropriate.
Absolutely.
But,
so yeah, we'll see. We'll talk about it next time, or at least we'll definitely talk about it on Apocalypse.
Yeah.
All right, man. So wrapping up the show, let's just talk about. So we did our Oscar discussion on Apocalypse Now, but that was a while ago. That was 2 or 3 weeks ago. So
yeah,
what have you seen since then? Where you might change your mind? Oh. And I have something for you, too, that I've seen. So what have you seen?
Well, I don't know if I mentioned on one of the shows I watched. No, I think I did. I watched 1917 back to back.
You did, yeah.
Back to
we
back.
Talked about it and you were saying you agreed with Jake that it's one of the best movies you've ever seen.
Ever.
Yeah.
Literally is. At least certainly in the last maybe 15, 20 years. Back to back. And the next night I went and saw Little Women, which I absolutely adored. It was so good. Such a good movie. It's a classic story. I didn't realize there were 5 Little Women movies and like 3 TV.
I knew there was a lot.
Yeah, 3 TV series. I knew there was one. Katharine Hepburn was in the 1932 one, which I didn't, or 1939, something like that. Yeah, I had no idea. But Yeah, it's the same story. Obviously, it's Little Women, based on the novel. But the way it's told, the way Greta Gerwig structured it, it's very interesting. It kind of jumps around in the story and the timeline, so it's really well done and really impressive. And it's a crime that she was not nominated for Best Director again. She made one of the best movies.
She was nominated for Best Picture Best Director for Lady Bird.
I don't know. She was not. Yeah, I don't think she was.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure, because I was saying the same thing 3 years ago or whenever it was that came out.
I thought she was.
That's what that was. Yeah, no. It's because that was the argument, was that the film was nominated for Best Picture, but the director wasn't nominated, which was ridiculous.
And so that happened this year. I thought she
got one of our sheets right up here.
She was nominated.
Yeah.
No, not this year, but I thought she was nominated for Lady Bird.
Oh, Lady Bird. I'm sorry.
Best
Yeah.
Director.
No.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah, I don't think she might have been, but I don't think she was.
I think it Best Adapted Screenplay.
Screenplay? Okay. Is that for this one?
Little Women. Hold on. Oh, where is it? Oscar nominee. Oh, Best Original Screenplay, Lady Bird. Oh man.
No, she was.
She was?
She was.
See, I knew it.
Okay, good.
Made her the first woman.
I knew it. No, she was. I knew she was. Yeah.
Okay, good.
She was nominated for Lady
Oh, that
Bird,
makes me so happy. Okay.
Yeah.
But she definitely should have been nominated for this. Jeez, I can't believe she wasn't.
At least, I mean...
But anyway,
When this movie was coming out, I did not anticipate it to be a Best Picture nomination, and it is. So that's a test. People still know that she directed it, so
yeah,
I mean, that's still big for her.
So I highly recommend that. So, and I'm gonna try to check out. I'm gonna try to get in Parasite before the show Sunday.
You have to, man. I want Parasite to win Best Picture.
A lot of people do.
I really do, and I want him to win Best Director.
I'm torn, man. Was Jojo Rabbit nominated for Best Picture?
Yes.
Yeah. See, I kind of want that as well.
No, so do I. But the thing is,
I think it's going to be 1970.
Jojo Rabbit is my favorite movie of the year.
Yeah.
But 1917, I don't necessarily think it is the best movie of the year, but I think it's the best movie that everybody else agrees that it's the best movie of the year. Like as far as just like if we did a world poll or something, but Parasite might be the best movie of the year, and a lot of people are predicting that Parasite's going to upset.
That's what I keep hearing too. Yeah.
But you know what I saw? I watched Ford v Ferrari.
I wish I had some celebration music. I wish I had that right now.
That little horn. Okay.
Wait. So did you stream it?
It's on digital.
It is.
So
how did I not know this? I would have been watching it right now.
I paid $20 to watch it.
Really?
But I was thinking about it because I was going to watch it in theaters.
I was going to buy it tonight.
Okay. I was going to go watch it in theaters and pay like $12 or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe 10. But I get to sit in the comfort of my own home.
Oh yeah, sure.
Watch it on my TV. And own it. So I was like, that's worth the extra $10.
Anytime you want.
Worth the extra $10.
Yeah.
And
totally.
Look, I will say, I still.
It's your favorite director.
James Mangold is the best director working today. I still think that, but. I didn't love this movie as much as you guys, but this is why. You and Jake are car guys. I love cars, but I'm not a car guy. Like, cars are cool. Like, I don't know. That's all I have. Like, I collected Hot Wheels, but I'm not a car guy, per se. You guys are. Yeah. So, this movie was just, like, made for you guys. But it's a great movie.
Yeah.
Great movie. Definitely Best Picture worthy. James Mangold's fantastic director.
Man.
Christian Bale should have been nominated.
Yes, I'm telling you.
I don't know if they would have called it Best Lead or Best Supporting.
Yeah.
Christian Bale should have been nominated. I can't believe that. I guess I haven't seen all the nominated people. Maybe I've seen all the Best Actor nominations, but not the Best Supporting Actor. No, I haven't seen Antonio Banderas.
That's right.
Or the Two Popes guy. So I can't say whether one of them should be booted out or not.
Sure.
But just Christian Bale was so good.
He should have been.
Was good, not Oscar worthy, but
I
he
agree.
was good.
Agree.
John
Bernthal.
The story was so enthralling. The story was great, and I like the ending.
I know.
Breaks my heart.
I know. I didn't know that, and I was like, oh.
Like when you can do that, when you can get me so invested that the ending makes me angry because what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Ford v Ferrari, fantastic film, and like it's, and I don't want to just it's not my favorite film of the year. It's I added it to my rankings and it's at 12, so I don't want to like and like I said, like there's maybe my 11 through 15 are all great films, but yeah, it's in my 12 spot. But it's still a great movie, but not my necessarily my subject matter that I'm most into.
Sure.
Basically.
I wonder if you would have had a different, seeing it in the theater with the sound, maybe a different.
Maybe because the car racing scenes
because it's impeccable. On that surround sound, it's the sound quality. The sound should win.
Is a factor for sure.
But I mean, I hear you.
Yeah. So, did not Gio and put it as overrated.
I know that it's not overrated.
Gio, he knucklehead.
If anything, it might even be slightly underrated.
I agree. That's what I think too. I don't think it's
slightly underrated.
And it came out in November. It's not like it came out.
Basing that off of our circle,
probably
because you guys are over the moon about it. Brian, have you seen it?
Yeah.
Do you like it?
To be honest, I think it was actually number 12 on my.
Oh wow!
Things too.
Yeah, you guys are probably about the same.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's just
just not
you
quite.
You probably love your number 12 movie, whatever it is.
I don't even remember. I could. I trust me. I get it. I don't know. I just I loved it. And I loved it. But having seen, I feel like now, I still have it slightly ahead of 1917. But I don't know. They're kind of.
Yeah. Mine is still Jojo Rabbit for me.
Which I see. Yeah. And if I see that again, I'm waiting to see that again because I want to.
Because I love my.
It was my number 10.
I love my comedy, comedy applied to the dramatic stuff. The lightheartedness of Jojo Rabbit is
so sweet.
It is a unique film.
Yeah.
It is a war drama, but yet a quirky comedy.
Okay, we're gonna go into spoilers really quick on Jojo Rabbit. So, Brian, you saw it. Okay.
I saw that too.
Yeah, me too. It's cool. Okay.
All right, to wrap up the show,
we mentioned
hour and 20 minutes.
Oh my goodness,
that's our mark.
Yeah, it's mostly the Kobe stuff, I think. But
we're not gonna normally that Kobe segment wouldn't be in.
It wouldn't have. Yeah, totally. Yeah, that would have. Yeah, right. So,
exactly,
so sorry, Jake. But
hey, Jake's not producing this.
Listen, it's Bartley and Barnes, exactly. But
Jake.
The spoiler thing. So I definitely didn't say her name.
You should say sorry, Brian, for. Probably bored out of his mind.
It's true. I know he wants to watch.
I'm listening.
He wants to watch Harry Potter again. But Honey Boy, yeah. I did not say her name. You picked up on that thing. But I was right though. Which one of those scenes do you think was worse?
Oh, for what?
For the actress Scarlett Johansson.
The Jojo Rabbit one. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so. You said we were talking about Endgame, and you said, "Oh, no. We were talking about Jojo Rabbit."
Yeah,
and you said something like,
"I said there's a performer in this movie."
Yes,
and something happens, and
there's a performer in this movie that we said. Referenced that there's a performer in this movie that had a death in another movie.
I didn't even say death. I just said a devastating scene. And it's the second time this performer this year had a devastated us on screen.
And I already told you. I said it's partly you saying that. It's partly me putting the pieces together.
I can't believe you even remembered that.
And as soon as you said it, I instantly thought it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, you just spoiled it. But the thing is, if I would have said something, your guys' reaction to me saying something would have given it away. So then when I was all right, to be fair, when I was in the theater and it happened, I wasn't thinking about it.
Right.
But then
you thought about it later?
I was leaving the theater. Okay. I was like, motherfucker, Keith spoiled it for me.
But it didn't.
It's okay.
You didn't
intentionally.
Your brain just kept working.
Oh yeah. It wouldn't stop.
And you figured it out.
But all right. Your one big major Oscar prediction. Upset anything?
Upset? Or just whatever?
What major prediction you have?
Who's our best actor nominees? Actually, scratch that. Forget that. Scarlett Johansson will not. I don't think she will not win either of her nominated awards.
Okay.
I think that's.
I mean, to be honest, she's not even Renee Zellweger is supposed to win Best Actress, and then Laura Dern's supposed to win Best Supporting. Yeah. So, unfortunately, which I would love for Scarlett to come home with an Oscar because
I wanted to win for Jojo. I didn't see obviously
again. That's possible.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? It's
exactly.
possible.
That's true. Yeah.
So it's rare.
That'd be great.
It's like going to the Super Bowl. You might
never go back.
Might never go back. I'm gonna go bold. I'm gonna say Parasite's gonna shock everyone and win Best Picture. The only thing that's gonna stop it from doing that is because it's nominated for Best Foreign Film, and that's what they do. They nominate Roma.
What's the one? Roma.
They nominate Roma
right.
for Best Foreign Film and Best Picture, but then they're like, oh, "Don't worry, you're gonna get Best Foreign Film, so we're not gonna vote for you for Best Picture." I mean, there's 6,000 Academy voters, but you know what I mean.
That's the problem right there.
And Parasite should be a contender to win, but it probably won't. But I'm gonna just make a bold prediction and say it's gonna shock people, and it will, because
Parasite.
It is it's such an amazing film, and it's so deep.
Snowpiercer director.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's gonna do it for Bartley Barnes. Hopefully, there's some music playing right now, and I'm gonna try to add that in post. I'm gonna add our song back from the original show. Mr. Keith Barnes over there. That was fun, man. We're gonna go a lot shorter than that normally.
Yes.
I'm Jacob Bartley. Thank you for watching this video. Peace out.